of guy was Andy Beal? He seems like an enigma.
He's a very private guy. At first, I thought of him as reclusive. He's definitely not reclusive, and he's a very friendly, outgoing person. But he is he's very private. He recognizes that he can attain great success in life in areas where a number of other people have needed to court public favor. That he could do that without it. So as a result, he's now, I'm pretty sure he's in the top 50 of the Forbes wealthiest Americans. I know I used to have a thing where when they would come out with the list each September, I would email him and I would say to him, Andy, I saw the new Forbes list. As usual, you're on it and I'm not. And I know that's bad news for both of us. And that's really the way he felt. I mean, he liked flying underneath the radar. Well, I mean, once you get to about $15 billion, it's just not possible anymore. And so he tried to keep all his activities, whether it's banking or poker or his personal life, underneath the radar. But, I think that he's kind of made peace with the fact that there are going to be quarters where whatever he does, people are going to be interested in it. And so he usually politely declines interviews or politely declines to be a controversial person. But he's a very nice, very friendly guy. On the other hand, once you see his competitive side and you get the idea of the intelligence that's lurking, not even necessarily verbal, but whether it's a statistical or mathematical or analytical, that even though he's a fairly plain-spoken person and he's kind of friendly, you get an idea that there's like a gigantic IQ back there and just an inexhaustible, set of resources to try to, work things out.
Well, I'll tell you what, he is a smart cookie because he came up with this strategy that, hey, if we get the blinds so high, these top players might actually be uncomfortable, and hence that's why the corporation came to be. So the guy had some sense to him, and for a while there, I mean, he had them running, didn't he?
Oh, yes. I think that the games are so much bigger now, or at least have, if not today, so much bigger. Certainly when a lot of the players were involved in online poker and were either making those fortunes or were, making fortunes connected with the online sites, that, the games had gotten so big that it's pretty difficult, to rattle them. But when you go back to like 2000 and you say, okay, let's play for $1 million. Well, it's like, these guys, they generally had net worths of that, but what they had sitting in their box at the Bellagio wasn't necessarily $1 million. And so, they put the money together, and as he ratcheted the stakes up, that made it more difficult for them. And so there's also the team dynamic. I mean, he's playing on his own money, and he's got a pretty big supply of that. They don't have as big a supply, but, they're sharing a bankroll to play heads up. But, once person A plays and wins, then person B plays and wins. Well, when person C comes in there, if they don't win, there's like this, this kind of like perception of shunning going on. Everybody's beating them but me, and that puts a certain type of pressure on them. So you get a situation when he's losing, the people who are playing him are feeling pressure because everybody else is beating him, or when he's winning, the people who are playing him are feeling pressure because everybody else is saying, come on, you got to step up here. Then you get situations where there are people who put up money and haven't played him, and then, other people in the group are saying, well, this guy is, he's all critical of us. He's not playing Beal, and I wouldn't want him to play Beal, but here he is all critical that I lost to him yesterday. And so, it takes advantage of a group dynamic that includes both, the lack of comfort with the stakes, and also the fact that poker players generally are not team players. They play for themselves, and while they sometimes have financial arrangements with others, they generally like to play free of financial constraints, and the idea that other people are looking over their shoulder in such a systematic way is a little unnerving to them. That's obviously something Andy did not have to deal with.